welcome to Waves of YA, a podcast focused on young adult literacy brought to you by the Ocean County Library's Teen Literacy Work Group. My name is Cecilia. I'm one of the teen librarians at the Ocean County Library. Joining me today we have
Anna,
Kat,
Alyssa,
I'm Bella.
Today's episode is a teen's look at books. We'll be discussing our favorites and why these titles grab our attention. So the first question we have today is, what is your favorite overall book?
I really like the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I'm sorry, I keep saying it. I'm obsessed with the book. I'm serious. You stop making that face. It's amazing. It's gay and I love it, and it's Greek mythology, so it mixes all the best things. My personal favorite is Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Keys to the Universe.
It's a really good one.
I like the time period it's set in. It's 70s, early 70s. And I just like the way that the characters interact, and it's kind of like a coming of age along with other cool themes in it.
I don't really have a favorite, honestly. I just like certain books. It's really mainly genres that I'm into.
What's your favorite genre?
Thriller.
Thriller.
Wrong answer.
Yo. I see Thriller. I think Michael Jackson.
My favorite book, I have a favorite book series. It's the Lunar Chronicles. I read it back in middle school.
It's not Baby Mouse?
No. Not yet.
A series. Whoa. That's a
It's
big
a
attention
series.
span you got there. Hold on.
But it's like a sci-fi twist on the classic fairy tales. So the first book in the series is Cinder, which is Cinderella, and so on and so forth. It's just really interesting and well written.
Cool. Maybe I have to say mine. I really like Holly Black. I don't know. Has anybody ever read her books? Or like,
Yes,
heard of
I've
her.
read one and I forgot.
was it The Cruel Prince?
Yes.
Yeah, you
I
did read The Cruel
binged
Prince.
that in one night, and it was a lot, but I loved it.
Didn't
and I
you
was
write that
addicted.
down?
But
For
and then
your
I
life?
found out it was a series, and then I was like, I
Too
don't have
much
the attention span.
commitment.
That's too much commitment. That's too much commitment, man. I can only read one thing, and then I already have the next 10 books queued up.
Yeah, I liked her first one that came out, Type. It's set all in the same universe, but it's dark fairies and really gritty. And it takes place on the East Coast, so
Oh
I
yay!
identified with that.
Cute.
Lovely.
Next question is, what's your favorite childhood book?
Hungry Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. I bragged about that book when I was 7, and I've continued on for the rest of my life. I love that book, even though it is way not age appropriate for me now. I have a burning passion for that book, and never will it be erased from
I
my
think
mind.
every single child absolutely loved
No.
that book.
Because I would wreck it to kids
Colors?
I don't know. I would just recommend it to kids. I'd be like, yo, we're only 8, but this book is
So
bomb,
laughs.
and it was meant for toddlers, and it's not for us. But
Shapes
have
and
you
colors.
taken this book from our library? It's just so good. Read it to your adult family. Read it to your child family.
You see a guy on the street, read it to him.
Read it to anybody, okay? I'm just saying it's a good book.
Okay, well, the best childhood book is obviously the Dork Diaries series.
Lame
I
and
love
basic.
that series.
Oh my god.
See, no. Dork Diaries is such a good book. It's kind of like the girl version of Diver Won't Be Kid.
My
In the
attention
sense that,
span.
yeah.
It's gone. By the first book, I'm halfway through, and then
It's
there's,
a
20
graphic
more
novel.
of these.
How do you...
Girl,
No.
images. No.
Images.
Hungry Hungry Caterpillar.
That's
Images.
because the illustrator, they
Eric
sew
Carle really
stuff
took his
into there.
time.
It's good. The images, dude.
Eric Carle really took his time with that one.
I would write poems for that book. Eric Carle,
The
his
haikus.
masterpiece. Okay, I'm just saying it's a good book for all ages, even though it's a child's book.
Dork Diaries is definitely really
Dork
good.
Diaries is really good, and it's a big series.
That's disgusting.
Definitely 8-year-olds. No, stop insulting. This is slander.
understand why you
I won't
choose
stand
that
for it.
lifestyle. It's bad. Dork Diaries is a no-go.
It's a great book.
If you ever think between Dork Diaries and Hungry Hungry Caterpillar, I'm just saying there's the right option and the wrong option. Mine's the right one. Go buy it now at your local bookstore. All right.
Not sponsored by Eric Carle.
Eric Carle's behind me, hopefully.
Well, he is dead, so.
I know, his ghost. He's forever in my heart.
He's haunted.
When I was really little, my Mima would bring me a book. It was Lily in the Purple Plastic Purse, and it was my childhood.
That alliteration though.
I know. It was. I have no idea who wrote it.
Plastic purse.
I think that was the point of it. But I think it was supposed to be for school. She would always read it to my mom, and then I guess she read it to me. And every single time I saw her, I would read it. I would read it, or she would read it, because I started reading at a really young age. And it was literally a mouse that brought a purse and her sunglasses to school, and she'd brag about it, and she wouldn't stop talking about it until the teacher took it away, and then she wrote a really mean note to the teacher. But in the end, they all forgave each other because it was a child book.
Because it's a kid's book,
Yeah.
and conflicts don't exist.
I think
She
I read that too.
she looked-
when I was younger.
She looked absolutely amazing in her
Purple plastic
sunglasses and her purple plastic purse, may I add.
Purple plastic purse.
She looked amazing, and she interrupted her class, but I think it was for a good reason.
Hannah, you got a favorite childhood book?
Okay, so I know you guys all want me to say Baby Mouse.
Because it's true.
Yes, it is.
You can't not mention Baby
And
Mouse.
I do really like Baby Mouse. I don't remember like any of the plot of Baby Mouse. It's just a.
I don't think Baby Mouse had a
Same
plot.
with
I don't
Full
think it
disclosure,
had a
I don't think it had a plot.
I don't think it did either, but it
No.
just stayed lingering in my mind.
Yeah.
And I love that series. However,
Oh, it's
my
a series.
favorite actual book series was probably Amelia Bedelia.
Oh my god.
loved
Amelia
I
Bedelia.
loved her.
I had those books. There was one where like she like made a cake, or like she drew the drapes, and like she like
Yeah,
drew
yeah.
paper, and then she like dressed the
No,
chicken.
that's Fancy Nancy.
That's
Amelia
Fancy
Bedelia
Nancy.
is the maid that like takes all
Yeah,
the instructions,
and
like,
takes-
way too
Yeah, it takes
literally.
everything out of like that. Well, that was my
So
favorite. That,
It was. I remember one book. She was told to let the bread rise,
yeah.
and she tied it to a rope and then slung it
Yeah,
the rope
yeah.
over the chandelier and like pulled it up to rise the bread.
And she takes everything like way too literally.
Yeah. Love that series.
So
They have like
She
a
powdered.
younger book
She
series
powdered
of
the
her
living
now.
room,
Do
and she
they?
like put the
Yeah,
baby
like,
powder all over it.
There was one where she where somebody called like it's supposed to rain cats and dogs, and she's sitting staring at the window,
yeah.
waiting.
What was your favorite childhood book?
Like it has to be Amelia Bedelia because that like just triggered some kind of memory in me of like reading it when I was like, because we're.
I love when we all have
right?
normal books, and Kat just like I've been pining for the Very Hungry Caterpillar for 14
I'll
years.
bring it up as much as I can. The Hungry Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle is the supreme overlord of
Available in
I
your
mean, it's
local
a
Barnes
good
and Noble
book.
now.
They have like they'll do story times where they have the puppet and the puppet is like eating all the things. Like
That's gross puppet cannibalism.
Okay, so the caterpillar eating things is okay, but the
It's
second it's a
food.
felt puppet, that's when we have problems.
The caterpillar eats food though.
Caterpillar
The
by
puppet
God.
eats food too.
Did it? Or did
Okay, so what's your favorite genre?
I can't do anything where it's long and very boring, like romance. It has to have some sort of action, like somebody's gotten kidnapped, and you will go find them and risk your life for
So I'm
them.
bringing ransom into this. I got you, right?
Even, I can't just be like two people go to small town and meet up at a small town and grab like no, I can't do those. It's so boring. I need something with action, something with adventure, something with risking your life, basically.
Okay, well, Alyssa's wrong. Romance is the best genre.
Unless it's not gay.
Yeah,
Wait,
definitely.
is that the proper double negative? Wait, if it's gay, it's good. It's
Math is great,
I
guys.
just need to specify because I don't know how double negatives work exactly.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah, so Alyssa's wrong. Action books, but first and foremost, romance. Also, I feel personally attacked by the small town comment. Small town books are like fantastic. What do you have against them?
They're boring.
I won't stand for it.
everybody has their own thing.
They're
No.
so boring.
Yeah, but she's wrong.
How do you there's some guy in the town and this girl's coming to visit her family for the holidays.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
and they go to a
It sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
There's romance not. Just to be clear, there are romance novels that aren't Hallmark
No,
movies.
Alyssa,
Yeah, I
I
feel
something against
If
Hallmark.
it doesn't,
Yeah,
if it doesn't read as a Hallmark movie, then it can be really good.
yeah.
there was a thriller romance that I read. It's called Dig Two Graves, and the main character is bisexual, and
Love.
Okay, it's automatically.
and she is in love with the girl that wants her to do you know what Strangers on a Train is?
Yeah.
It's like where you switch murders.
Yeah.
She wants her to kill her stepbrother, and
So, you
Cute.
know, I can get behind
then she
that.
falls in love with the stepbrother.
Hey, yo.
I won't ruin anything else, but like
I can get
Stuff
behind
happens.
that book.
gay romance.
Yeah.
Woo!
I
I love
I
everything.
mean, I get behind that book. There's murder.
Alyssa likes it because someone dies.
One of us is lying.
Oh my god.
That is such a good
Okay.
book.
Okay, so One of Us is Lying is a wonderful horror gay novel,
It's
but it's also a mystery. Don't insult a really good book.
No, it was really good.
The second book was
A book.
a book. It was a book.
I actually like the second book, but
Greek mythology, though, when you combine it with all those things, I'm sorry, those kinds of stories are great. I haven't
Stop liking the Song of Achilles. It's a very niche subcategory.
Like, I would make an army of people who like that book because it's just so
Did
good.
you
It needs to
read
be a movie.
Circe, was that the other one the author read?
Yeah, she
Okay.
read it. Oh my god.
I really like Greek mythology.
I'm
except
also
for the
just gonna
fact of
throw-
Percy Jackson. Except because I used to really like Percy Jackson until I watched those movies. I can't get over that. The movies
But he
were
was so
trash.
fine in that movie.
The movies were trash, and I stopped reading the books because of those movies.
Okay, but like the Percy Jackson movie,
No.
the books,
Favorite genre?
definitely iconic. It's very a niche type of person who read the Percy Jackson books as a child, and it's definitely a pipeline. There's definitely a pipeline between people that read Percy Jackson and people that had an 7th grade phase of life.
Seventh grade phase of what?
just being in 7th grade.
Yeah.
Most people are in 7th grade at some point in their
No, but
life.
it's definitely a pipeline of people that read Percy Jackson to like people that listened to MCR in 7th grade for like a very brief time period. You. It's definitely there's definitely some sort of
You're totally right. Because
Mhm.
all of my old friends in middle school read Percy Jackson and then became like emo MCR fans.
Hey.
either that or gay.
Well, I skipped that phase. I just I went from Percy Jackson to these movies are trash. I'm done with it.
My 5th grade G&T teacher made me read The Red Pyramid, which is not Percy Jackson, same author. It was the Kane Chronicles. It was like a
Oh,
spin-off series. And she made us read that, and I never
Much
finished
more
the
queer.
series. Mhm.
I heard.
It was. It's a lot
Yeah.
more queer.
Favorite author?
Woo, okay.
That's a good question.
Becky Albertalli.
Nice.
That's enough out of you. She wrote Simon.
That sounds like the name of a chicken.
Absolutely not. She wrote a trilogy, Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda, which has a movie and a spin-off series, both
Right.
very good. Check it out. That's
Right.
shut up.
It is. It's
And
good.
then she also wrote Leah on the Offbeat, which great representation. Love that. 10 out of 10. And then The Upset of Unrequited, which I've heard is very good, but I'm in the middle of a book rut, so I'll get to it when I do.
Favorite author, anybody?
She also
else?
wrote Love Creekwood, which is like a nice tie-up.
Chilia. Favorite author?
I like Holly Black. I love. I'm just gonna say the same stuff. Karen McManus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Didn't she?
And one of us is lying.
Oh, I thought Karen McManus was the one that wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and we
No,
all
that's
know how I
Holly-
feel about the
That's
third
Holly
one.
Jackson.
Holly Jackson.
Yeah.
We all know how I feel about As Good as Dead right now.
Colleen
I've made
Hoover.
my opinion.
I know a lot of people are obsessed with her, but I was
Yeah.
obsessed with her just for one work.
Wait, The Seven
Ends with
Husbands.
Us. No,
Oh, It Ends With Us.
because I was so obsessed with it because it felt relatable.
I feel like
That's kinda
an
sad.
honorable mention is definitely for favorite author, definitely John Green. John Green.
Oh, no.
John Green. This is
No.
okay. No,
No.
let me explain myself.
We hate
Let me
him in this
explain
house.
myself. Let me explain myself. John Green, I hate you, but I recognize that your works are good
Why do we hate John Green?
because he wrote The Fault in Our Stars, and I sobbed. Also, Kat will never let me borrow another book again because I stole it for way too long. But John Green, Turtles All the Way Down, great. Put more gay people in your books, please, because I need to be able to cry and then have something happy too. So,
Hannah,
yeah.
favorite author?
I thought
Okay.
of a couple more.
I don't
too.
really necessarily have a favorite author. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be my favorite book series, Mr. Mayer. She wrote
Not
the
Baby
Lunar
Mouse?
Chronicles. But also, I haven't reread those books in so long. So honestly, I don't even know
They
if
might
Wait, hold
not.
stands up.
Who wrote the
Honestly,
Twilight
wait.
novels? Wasn't that
Stephanie
That's
Meyer.
Stephanie
Meyer.
Meyer? Okay, I was
They
like, were
are
you?
nice to each other.
What did
Angie
you do?
Thomas.
Oh my God, yes. Hold on, I wanted to say that. Sorry, I'm loud. Angie Thomas wrote The Hate You Give, which is a wonderful book, and I heavily incline anyone who has not read it to read it, especially if you are one of those people that don't like to believe that there are problems.
Loved
With-
that book.
Yeah.
Because literally, it was so, like, I felt like I wanted to recommend it to everybody who, like, just who I know. I
Yeah.
just thought it was a so just general good book for anybody to read.
It's definitely a great book
It's
for
good
people
for representation. It's good for, like,
recognizing
sharing a different
racism.
side.
Yeah.
It's good for just, like,
Great book.
giving people a different experience.
Didn't
Yeah.
they make a Netflix show out of that?
It's
It's a
movie.
Hulu movie that is not as good as the book.
Movie. Okay.
Mhm.
I already read the book first, so I just know it's
It
good.
was different. It wasn't like
They didn't keep everything true to the book.
no, they didn't. But I also think like things changed from when the book was published.
Oh yeah, well.
So they added more stuff and added more about like protesting and
Also, The
whatnot.
Outsiders, right?
Oh no,
Well, we're
not
gonna
on
talk-
that.
That's the one I have to. That's the one I have to introduce.
Introduce the question.
Next one is everyone's favorite required reading. Kat, you're not allowed to talk because you have a bad opinion. My personal favorite required reading is The Outsiders because it's a great book, even though it was set a long time ago and it was written a while ago
a
too.
long time ago.
It was.
It was- I mean,
it was.
When was this set again?
I think in the 50s.
The
right?
50s is like 70 years ago,
It
guys.
is, I guess. That's a whole person.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, it's good. Dallas Winston, my whole heart. Yeah, it was a great book. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
All the other summer reading books, all the other required reading books, trash. Just straight up trash.
Okay, I just want to have an honorable mention for Tangerine. I don't know the
no,
author.
no.
Tangerine was good. It was about a little boy who wears glasses that wanted to be a soccer player, but he couldn't because he wears glasses. He wanted to be a goalie. I think he also had. What else did he do?
I guess the message was sweet, but it was really boring.
He also had a really annoying brother who played football.
So back onto The Outsiders. I've been silenced and it's not.
You've been silenced for a good reason.
I was so happy about it because it has like a surprisingly deep meaning that I don't feel like
Most books
go through
have.
enough in class. How, oh my God, Carrie Balance, this one quote, she was just like, things are rough all over. And I feel like it just brought me into a different perspective
Yeah.
than before I read it. I try and use a perspective for everything, but sometimes I just throw it in the trash. But I feel like it was surprisingly deep.
On that same note, The House on Mango Street. I know me and Kat read it. That
I did
had
not
a.
understand that at
You
all.
didn't? It's
No.
a different style of book because it's like a collection of poems, but it also really well highlights the the different side of the perspective
I don't remember
on
reading
types
it
of like
at all.
racism and stuff, especially growing up in like when was it set? Like the 60s,
It
60s?
shows, what is it? It shows growing up as a young girl, but then also growing up as a young Hispanic girl.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a different like experience where some of her poems would be about being a girl, some of them would be about being Hispanic, and some of them would be like
Both
maybe
and just
more,
adjusting.
and
Yeah.
some of them it's just like
It was just a
reached
good
wide
insight.
audience.
Yeah. It touched a lot of different people.
Mine was Othello by Shakespeare.
Ooh.
I heard that's so good by literally everybody.
I'm not a Shakespeare fan either, but
That's- yeah.
it was a good
Is
one.
it written in like Shakespearean? Like, am I
Yeah.
gonna be able to
Yeah.
understand it?
No.
I think part of
No.
I think part of why I enjoyed it so much was because of the teacher I had at the time. I was lucky enough to have a really good English teacher that made sure we all understood what was going on and would just make us have a good time with the book
Yeah.
and really read into it and try and get to know the characters. So I just like fell in love with that book. That and King Lear, which I also read with the same teacher.
I know that nobody likes this required reading book, but Fahrenheit 451.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
No.
not.
It
I
was
won't
just-
let it get its time of
It
day.
was just purely like it was slow. I'll admit it.
It was
And it
very
wasn't
slow.
unnecessarily large amount of pages for what it was trying to convey across.
Mhm.
But I feel like the slow build up is what actually like made it better because
No.
Nope, it would have been.
No.
It would have made it better if
Okay.
it was if it was a little bit shorter. I would have sort of enjoyed it, but it was way too long.
You just got
It
to
was
push
way too
through.
long. It was way too
No.
boring. It was just no.
If you're looking for a good, okay, so I know a lot of the arguments is it's a good dystopian novel that shows what we can be headed to if we keep like doing wrong or something like that. If you guys are looking for a good dystopian novel, All Rights Reserved is a great dystopian novel. That is, yeah.
I've heard that.
Personally, I don't like Fahrenheit 451 because it's Fahrenheit 451.
She just doesn't like it.
I just don't like it. I am a Fahrenheit 451
She didn't
hater.
really read it. That's why.
I gave it the time of day for 75 pages, and then I said absolutely not.
Like
I had bigger priorities.
I wish that if I approached it myself, I think I would like.
I had bigger priorities.
Like what?
Like any other book.
I was a bit okay.
Single any other
read
book.
a couple summaries, but then after school ended, I actually read the book because I could not read it when it was required.
There was a book we read like a few years ago. I don't remember if it was in elementary or middle. But
Hungry
It
Caterpillar.
was no.
Stop.
Favorite required reading.
I will say I actually kind of did. I don't know if you remember this, but we had to read Number the Stars.
Lewis
That
Lowry. I read
that
that.
was a really good one. I like that one a lot.
We had to read it in 6th grade, right?
That's it. It was 6th grade. Yeah, it had to do with the Holocaust, and there was
Holocaust books
Yeah.
are so good.
it was
For, like, no reason.
It's that I feel like everyone
The
has
genre. We've all had a Holocaust book
yeah,
phase.
I feel
at
like
some point.
everybody has like a Holocaust book phase.
It's
and
before
you-
7th grade though. It's before the emo phase.
Not me, guys.
But not. But it's before the emo phase, but after the Hungry Caterpillar phase.
Stay safe, y'all, with your Holocaust phases. But I never had that, so I hope you enjoyed it.
Doesn't
I
the
don't
Stockton
know.
College
Number
have
of
like a
Stars is
really
a good
good
book.
like
Yeah.
Holocaust library that has like all the daily accounts and stuff?
Yeah.
Because I used to take like things at Stockton. I used to go there, and they had like a giant Holocaust library, and it has like daily accounts, and it has the research that Lewis Lowry used to write Number of the Stars. Because it's like
Oh,
he
cool.
got
That's
yeah,
really cool.
and I read that book in like 4th grade. We didn't read it till 6th, but I read it in 4th grade, and it was literally one of the first books that got me into this genre, and I still have not stopped. Like the last one I read was The Girl in the Blue Coat. Again, I have no idea who authors are, so yeah, search up author here. But Girl in the Blue Coat was really good, as well as Somewhere There Is Still a Sun. It's more on the nonfiction side because it's definitely like a real account of a person who was in it. But yeah,
I really
both really good books.
What is it? In one of our English classes, I really liked Flowers for Algernon.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That one wasn't my favorite, but it was okay. It wasn't the worst ever. It wasn't the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
right. Fahrenheit 451 was the worst one.
It
No,
wasn't
not
the
poor
worst
Cat.
one
Cat.
ever. That one was okay. That one was okay. It was decent.
It was the movie, fantastic.
I like.
I don't know who played the Miss whoever. Was it Miss Penny? Who was the teacher in Flowers for Algernon? Miss Kinnian. I don't know who played Miss Kinnian in the movie, but oh my god, she was great. Her acting, 10 out of 10. However, the guy that played, what was his name? We literally read it in like June, and I still have no idea.
I really liked it because it showed how people viewed disabled people and how sometimes that influence can change how disabled people view themselves and how it doesn't have to be seen as something you need to like fix, and specifically because you can't quote unquote like fix it, it's just there and you have to like accept it because it's not really an issue. You just have to learn how to move around it.
A lot of the books that I don't like, it's not because of the meaning. I actually was like the meaning behind them. They're just way too slow and way too boring.
It does
And I
depend on
can't get through them.
I also feel like you like books less when you're like required to read.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
makes you like
they
it
automatically get
Yeah.
knocked from a 10 down to a 7. It's like it's a 10,
Yeah.
but it's required automatically
Yeah.
a 6.
Forced reading.
I do think required reading makes it harder to enjoy the book sometimes.
Yeah,
Because then it's like you have to write about it.
it's like that game where like,
Well, it's like-
the book's
Or
a
it
10,
just feels
but
more like a chore to read it.
yeah, because and then you have to like comprehend it. Like I don't want to say like comprehend, but like you have to do like the questions after or like write an essay.
And it could
It
be
takes the fun out of it. It could be like a book you absolutely
So you
love,
don't
and they're like, okay, well, you really liked it this much. Write an essay, and you're like, wait, now
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
Like if I had to write an essay on Aristotle and Dante, like I do it, But I would like the book significantly less if I had to comb over it if I had to go over it with a fine-tooth
Well,
comb.
you find all the like imperfections.
Yeah.
It's also,
And I won't do that because I love that author. I don't know how to.
it's also like
yeah.
when you get the questions and then you get the book and it's like, here, look at these questions to answer in the book. Then you're like combing through the book for
Yeah.
the questions.
Yeah.
You're not really like getting anything else.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to check out the Ocean County Library's website for more podcasts. All titles mentioned in today's episode can be found through the Ocean County Library free with your library card. If you have any reader's advisory questions you would like to be featured on our future episode, please email us at wavesofya@gmail.com. Until next time, happy reading.